Do this again sometime. Good night. Evening.
It's time.
On the account as usual.
We know why you're here. Scum! You're not fooling us.
Kyle, don't!
Come anywhere near us and you won't know what's hit you, Felton. Anywhere near us and you're dead!
Any chance of a lift to court, John? Jury service, remember? And we need to stop at the gym to book you in.
Oh, I'm going to sort training out with Jones.
You've been saying that ever since you failed to turn up and join Gareth's class with me. There's 1 week left before the Chief Constable's test. It's time to walk the talk.
I'll fix up a run with Jones this very morning.
Good. Then once you've done your session with Gareth, you'll know exactly how much running you need to do. Well, that's really brilliant. So, I'll bring you at 6.
That'd be lovely.
Okay. Cheers. Bye.
So that's him, is it? The personal trainer?
It's what we're telling people. So he says he can do you alongside our regular class. So meet here at 6.
The trouble is, I haven't brought my...
Yeah.
It's a disgrace.
I agree with you, Mr. Denning.
Then why let Felton back?
Look, if it were up to me...
You cannot allow him to stay here.
Morning, all. Is there a problem?
In 1994, Ted Denning's 17-year-old son, Daniel, was killed by Grady Felton. He was 16. He lived on the Dennings' estate at Binwell when he wasn't banged up for fighting or thieving.
Motive?
They'd had a run-in the night before. Daniel caught Felton poaching. Recovery dogs traced him to Felton's cottage. He found the body buried nearby with a murder weapon, head smashed in, Felton's prints on everything.
Constable, get your sergeant. Now, go on, lad.
Is that another son?
No, that's Kyle Gideon. He's lived on the estate all his life. Bit of a wild one in his youth, but he's Denning's gamekeeper now.
How long ago was Felton released?
4 years, next week. Victim support told them he was coming, but there was a cock-up at probation. I should have had notice.
It's not your job to supervise prisoners on license.
I did liaison with the family. I'm just happier knowing where he is, sir.
Has Felton got family here?
No. His mum and her boyfriend died in a motorway accident just after the trial. Denning's been campaigning to have the cottage pulled down ever since. But Felton was always bad news, sir. He was evil.
I'm sorry about this, Mr. Denning.
Isn't there anything you can do?
Apparently, he has been given permission to return to sell his cottage.
And you believe that? He's here to kill us. Tell him.
The local paper published a hit list. He claimed Felton wrote it after he was convicted.
He wouldn't have been allowed to return if he posed any kind of a threat to you now, Mr. Gideon.
It's bad enough having him back in the cottage, but letting him profit from it is indecent.
I hear what you're saying, and we'll be keeping a close eye on him. But Mr. Felton has served his time, and he has the same rights under the law as you do.
Do what you can to persuade him to go.
Sir, sudden death in Midsomer Parva. They need someone to attend.
Yes, go ahead.
What's up, Doc?
AMI, house tech, classic presentation, late 50s, overweight, drinker, smoker.
So nothing for us then?
Oh, disappointed?
Time of death?
4-hour window, 6:30 to 10:30 last night. The only weird thing is the way he's lying. Most sudden AMI victims I've found are on their fronts, arms to chest. Something to do with the way that pain strikes. But don't quote me on that, it's not scientific.
Nice place.
QC, lived alone. Name was Giles Harrison.
What? Are you serious?
I can do funny.
I don't believe it. Harrison was Felton's brief, sir. One of the people on his hit list.
Untimely coincidence.
If it is, I signed off on a post-mortem.
I thought Kate said she was 99% certain it was natural causes.
Well, there's the 1%. And the press will be making a meal of it with Felton back here. Might be wise to pay him a visit, sir. Reassure the neighborhood.
You don't look like estate agents.
DCI Barnaby, Courtroom CID. And this is...
Ben Jones.
Mind if we come in? Your return has caused a stir in the village, Mr. Felton. You're selling your property. Mind telling us why now?
The money. Plot like this will make me a packet.
Any idea how long you'll be staying?
Well, as soon as I've got an estate agent, I'm off.
Your old defense brief. Giles Harrison was found dead this morning. You swore you'd kill him once.
Kiddie talk.
Where were you between 6 and 11 last night?
Met my probation officer, 5:30. Coach from Victoria, 6:30. Bus from Coulston. Got here about 10:30.
Anyone see you arrive?
Only half of Binwell. I had a welcoming party. Kyle Gideon threatened to sort me out.
We'll have a word with him.
You can give him this back. Found it pinned to my door this morning.
Where was Daniel's body found?
About 50 yards that way. The Dennings' place is on the other side of the woods. Strange seeing him again.
Less charming than you remember. It's amazing what half a lifetime in prison can do for people. About the Chief Constable's fitness test, I was thinking we could get together, do a bit of training.
I'm not bothering with the training.
Aren't you?
Nah, I'm fit enough to pass now.
Well, as a favour to a friend. Otherwise, I'm stuck with Sarah and her bloke. You know, from the gym. She's training for the school charity run.
I can't. I'm busy all week.
Mr. Denning!
Have you talked to him?
This is Miss Denning, sir.
DCI Barnaby. Mrs. Denning?
Mandy Gideon. I manage the shoot.
And you are?
Will Gideon, assistant shoot manager.
If you're here to tell us about Harrison, we already know.
There's no evidence that he died in suspicious circumstances.
We can all relax then, is that it? It's an insult to Dan's memory even having him here.
All right, Will.
We've just spoken to Mr. Felton. Apparently, he's only staying until he's found an estate agent.
He shouldn't be allowed to stay at all.
You've changed your tune. She's always had a soft spot for my brother's murderer.
Deirdre?
Mr. Felton told us that he was threatened last night, and this was on his door this morning.
Well, that's got nothing to do with us.
Good. Best if you all keep it that way.
Well, if you don't mind, Chief Inspector, we've got clients waiting for the next drive.
Okay, Terry, let's get them loaded up.
I'm sorry.
Me too. We've not been at our best since the letter came. You understand, at least.
Well, we'll make sure he stays away from you, I promise. Look, if you're worried, day or night, call me.
Thanks.
Interesting bunch.
They went through a lot back then, sir.
What's the story between the two families?
Well, Mrs. Gideon lives on the estate at Home Farm. She was widowed when the boys were small. Mr. Denning looked after the whole family, made Mrs. Gideon shoot manager, and gave Will and Kyle jobs when they left school.
No Mrs. Denning?
No, they divorced years ago.
So all the kids grew up together?
Even when they were teenagers. The Dennings went off to private schools. The Gideons went to Corston Comp, but out of school they still hung out. There was a whole gang of them. Daniel was the eldest. Great lad. Everyone thought a lot of him. Should we check in at the mortuary, sir? Kate might be finished with Harrison.
Right.
Ah, timing's perfect. I've just confirmed AMI.
There you go.
But not from natural causes. He's got enough morphine in his body to stop an elephant.
Any chance it was self-administered, accidental overdose?
There's no sign of previous misuse. The quantity was lethal. Have a look at the injection site. I didn't see it till I got him up on the slab. Looks like murder to me.
I'll be there as soon as I can. Any progress?
Local cab firm just called. Harrison was at a do at his country club. They dropped him back around 10-ish last night.
Signs of forced entry?
No. Windows and doors are security locked. Nothing's been touched.
Harrison let the killer in. Or the killer was waiting, attacked Harrison before he got in the door, then dragged him inside.
Anything from the bus station?
CCTV shows Felton getting off the London coach and on the Binwell bus, just as he said. Arrived 10:22, so he's out of the picture.
I think we should put extra patrols on his cottage, sir.
Already done. They'll lock him up every hour just so he knows we're keeping an eye on him. He's been alibied by the people who hate him most in the world. Barristers collect grudges like fee notes. Felton won't be the only defendant he's failed to get off.
I'm sure you're right, sir.
You're late. Lucky it's only 3 minutes jog to the park.
The park?
You've not been listening, have you? That's where we do boot camp training.
Boot camp?
Oh. Are we going for that drink you're always promising me?
I just wanted to check Harrison's TOD.
6:30 to 10:30. Hasn't changed.
Any chance you could have been wrong about the timing?
No, that's why we get a window. Earliest to latest. You know how it works.
Yeah, of course.
Night, Ben.
Yeah.
Right.
Change!
So when do you start with Ben?
He said he doesn't need to train.
Maybe he's revealing a competitive side.
Can we walk? I don't want to peak too soon.
Hey, Sarah.
Hi.
I'm Gareth. You must be John.
Hi, Gareth.
You happy to get started?
Raring to go.
Okay, good. So, the assessment is basically a half-hour stress test.
When you say stress...
You'll be trying for maximum reps in 2-minute slots, doing press-ups, burpees, squat benders, and shuttle sprints. See, that'll give you a score, and then we can develop your fitness plan from there. Sound okay?
Groups 2 and 3 change. Keep it going, guys. And up. And breathe.
Okay?
Thanks for caring.
you all. I will kill you all. I will kill you all.
Leave a message and I'll get back to you.
Miss Garrett, it's DS Ben Jones. We worked together on the Daniel Denning murder back in 1994. Something's come up. Could you call this number as soon as possible? Thanks.
I'm afraid we're not available at the moment. Please leave a message after the tone.
Yeah. Mr. Lambert, it's Ben Jones, Courtroom CID. I need to talk to you as soon as you get this message. Grady Felton's brief has just...
Hello, Peter? Is that you?
Hello?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it might be...
Hi, Mrs. Lambert.
I'm afraid my husband's not here. I don't know where he is. I'm really worried.
What?
He said he'd be back, but there's no sign of him.
Well, if we're all finished, I'd like you to raise your glasses to Mandy. A very happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Mum.
Not again.
Shall I go?
Aren't we going to discuss the elephant in the room?
No, not tonight.
Discuss what exactly?
What we're gonna do about Grady.
You're not going to do anything.
Great, fine. Let's just leave the front door open, shall we?
Hold on, Kyle.
He can drop in whenever he likes and slit all our throats.
Oh, for God's sake.
Enough. Look, if we can't talk about this rationally, let's not talk about it at all.
Chance would be a fine thing.
Shut up, Deirdre.
Leave Grady Felton to me. Do you understand?
And what happens when he decides to come
I
back?
said enough!
Well, I'm tired. Quite like to go home. Collect the plates.
Leave the plates, Mandy. We'll take your mother home.
Look, either I get the cash tonight, or everything's off. Yeah? You do that. All right, see you then.
Thanks for that. Just keep me informed, okay? Still nothing?
I find it disgraceful.
Well, try not to worry, Mrs. Lambert. I'll call back in an hour, okay?
But he threatened
Bye.
to kill everyone that was involved in the truck. To be allowed back into the very place where he committed. There is no justice.
Sorry, mate. Sorry, Mr. Denning. We'll have to do that again.
There is no justice for the victims of violence or their families. It makes a mockery of the whole justice system.
So I think we've got a problem with DCI Lambert. He was SIO on the case. He's on Felton's list. It's his wife. Yes, Mrs. Mr. Lambert. Yes, I have. I know.
Mr. Lambert is...
Fine. False alarm. His wife missed a message and jumped to conclusions.
This is my good news. They found it in Harrison's safe. First thing, 30 or more letters and emails. Some are just angry, some are death threats.
Would be useful to know if you'd had any trouble recently.
Ah, a Apparently, Mr. Felton has left messages. He wants to see me.
Surprised you bothered.
It's my job, Mr. Felton. Want to tell me what happened?
Had an estate agent round yesterday. He agreed to take the sale on. Phone call this morning, and he changed his mind. I go into Coulston, slog round all the rest of them, and nobody will touch it.
That's not a police matter.
I want that money, and they have got no right to take it from me.
You murdered a young man here, Mr. Felton. Did you expect buyers to be tripping over each other?
Maybe I'll just stay here. Do the place up. Watch their faces when they realise they're never getting rid of me.
Personally, I wouldn't recommend it.
Fred called again. He's threatening to bail.
He's all mouth. And he needs the money.
Well, are you going to sort it or not?
I've said, haven't I?
Haven't you got work to be doing?
Harrison was murdered. It's official.
Those outlying feeders need stocking.
Yeah, I'm on it.
You've just got time to fix your makeup. Eh? For the gentleman of the press.
Oh, yeah.
How'd it go with the CPS?
Yeah, fine. What did Felton want?
He's claiming the local estate agents have been warned off.
Well, I hardly need warning.
That's exactly what they said. Did you know Felton had 3 appeals turned down? He'd have been out a lot earlier if he'd admitted it and shown remorse from the start.
Well, obviously, remorse isn't his style, sir.
You didn't mention that Ted Denning was a suspect.
He wasn't. Felton made some allegation.
He claimed that Denning used to beat Daniel black and blue.
Yeah, I know what he claimed.
And that he'd seen Denning having a go at Daniel just a few days before the murder.
Well, he's lying, sir.
Denning doesn't seem like the sort of person who likes to be crossed.
The one being knocked about was Felton, not Daniel. His mum's boyfriend was a drunken thug called Ross. Used to lay into them regularly.
Tough life.
That doesn't excuse what he did to Daniel Denning, sir.
Push! Good pace. How are you feeling?
In need of oxygen. Maybe an ambulance.
Whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. You ready for one more? Come on, breathe it in. Breathe with it, come on. Breathe it in, go with the breath. Come on, come on. There we go, that's better.
Caroline Garrett? You're not still on your hit list.
She was the prosecuting counsel at Felton's trial. She didn't call me back, so I was just trying to find her address.
What, so you can camp outside on guard?
Because I spent so much time with the family after it happened, and I saw what they all went through, I just don't want anyone else to get hurt, that's all.
I get it. I just don't want to play murder in the dark anymore.
Okay.
So, are we set?
Damn, it's a fire call. Sorry. Sorry.
Yeah.
Get that for me, will you, Sykes?
All right.
Jones?
It's Felton, sir. The cottage is on fire.
Drop the GPS! 2 in, 2 out. There we go. Stand back.
Penciling, stand clear!
Watch yourself.
Okay, confined space evacuation.
He's in a coma, sir. He wasn't breathing when they found him.
What does the fire team think?
By the book arson. Someone poured fuel through the letterbox and lit it.
Excuse me, is it okay to go inside?
Yes, but you'll need to put these on, sir.
Thank you. Officer Bellingham.
Apparently, this door was closed when they came in. It stopped the fire, but not the smoke. What are you thinking?
That we should never have let this happen.
Well, there's nothing more we could have done, sir.
I hope you're right about that. So how long have you been seeing the lovely Officer Bellingham?
How did you know?
I'm a detective, Jones.
Been a few months. I met her when she transferred in the summer.
It's going well?
I moved a few things in this week, so, yeah.
Trying to keep it quiet?
It's early days. I didn't want anyone to know about it yet.
Fair enough.
You won't say anything, will you?
No, of course not.
Cheers.
Though, of course, one good turn.
I'm getting all the exercise I need.
But I need a credible alternative to Gareth's torture in the park sessions. And you're it.
It's the smoke inhalation.
His respiratory system is severely impaired. Now we must assume traumatic damage to his kidney function.
What are the chances he'll wake up?
Too soon to say, apparently. We better get a guard organised. We don't want anyone trying to finish the job.
I probably shouldn't say this, but it's a relief to know he won't be going anywhere.
Just gonna take a shower.
I'm not back on till 2. Any chance of lunch later?
I'm in court.
Maybe I'll come and watch you perform.
Yeah? Regina versus Frederick Burns, if you're interested. Court 1. Piece of cake.
If you had anything to do with this.
Of course I didn't.
Or you know anyone who did.
Whoever started that fire did us all a favor.
How can you say that? He's probably going to die.
He killed my son.
That was 18 years ago, Ted. One of these days you're going to have to let go.
Oh, for pity's sake.
I've worked. I've waited. All that time. I've even put up with that waste of space daughter of yours.
They're here about the fire.
In light of which, I need to know where everyone was at midnight last night.
We had supper late. I heard the engines go by as Mandy and the boys were leaving.
No one else was with you at supper who could confirm that.
Are you doubting my word, Chief Inspector?
I'm doing my job, Mr. Denning.
There was no one else. There was just us.
I understand you have a private fuel supply on the estate. We need a sample. Thanks for your cooperation.
Is anyone here stupid enough to commit arson with their own fuel, sir?
No, not stupid, but angry maybe, or desperate. You get this sample back to the lab while I have a quiet word with Mandy Gideon. You and Mr. Denning are obviously, close.
We've been together for 20 years now.
But you don't live together.
Daniel's death changed a lot of things between us. In a way, we're still living with the consequences. Even now.
And is that true of the children, too?
Will's all right. He just gets on with it.
But not Kyle and Deirdre?
Daniel's death affected them in ways we didn't really understand at the time.
Deirdre said that you always had a soft spot for Grady Felton.
Well, I felt sorry for him, that's all. He and his mother suffered violence every day of their lives. I just didn't think he was always as bad as people made out.
Did you ever doubt that he'd killed Daniel?
No.
Have you any idea who might have set the fire at his cottage?
No. No, I don't. I just wish you'd never let him come back here, that's all.
Stupid sod. What have you done? I don't know what you're talking about. You set the fire.
No way.
Why did you do it? Did Ted tell you to?
No, it wasn't me.
There was a fuel can missing from the pump shed this morning. I've just replaced it.
Nothing to do with me.
I heard you leaving last night. Where else would you be going that late?
It's none of your business.
Well, it'll be the police's business. Only if you tell them. Never understood you. Half your life you've had it on a plate from Mum and Ted. Well, all you can do is find trouble and then use other people to get you out of it.
You better talk to Deirdre. Yeah. Talk to Daddy's girl about last night. And while you're at it, ask her about Fred Burns.
Oh. I don't see why you can't have done this with Sarah and what's his name.
I can't cope with all the smiles and friendly encouragement. So, assuming for the moment that the fire wasn't set by the Dennings or the Gideons, who else is there?
Oh, is anyone in Binwell?
But who else cared enough about Daniel to kill? Did he have a girlfriend?
No one steady.
Anyone else in their gang?
Well, it was Fred Burns, the guy who got up in court later.
What's he up for?
Intent to supply Class A's. Way over his comfort zone of 5-quid dope deals to school kids.
Doesn't sound like the sort of mate Ted Denning would approve of for his children.
Well, he was all right as a teenager. He just fell in with the wrong crowd later in life.
Worth a visit?
Yeah. Best leave that one to you, though, sir, until I've given evidence against him.
Right. Fred Burns?
Yeah?
DCI Barnaby, Courtroom CID.
Make it quick. I've got somewhere to go.
Court, I understand. I'm assuming you know about the fire at Grady Felton's cottage.
Everyone knows.
You and Daniel Denning used to be good mates, I hear.
So?
Good enough to want to even the score for him now?
I was nowhere near his place.
So where were you at midnight last night?
Home. Turned in early.
Can anyone confirm that?
Look, I've got to go. If you need to talk to me about anything else, I'll have my brief with me, OK?
Thought you should see. Suckers found it.
Anything from Harrison's dissatisfied clients?
Everyone they've traced so far is in prison, unsurprisingly.
Fred Burns isn't currently employed, is he?
Not unless you call small-time dealing a job.
Which made me wonder about that flash car he's driving. So I checked with his bank. He deposited £1,500 in cash early this morning.
Blood money?
Unless he can tell us something different. It's a theory.
Well, this is it. There's a cigarette butt under every marker. All the same brand, all fresh, 48 hours old at the most.
Which is when Felton arrived. He doesn't smoke, does he?
No, sir.
Good spot for keeping watch.
Or scoping your target. Fred Burns smokes.
So does Deirdre Denning.
Hi.
Expecting someone else?
No, I just forgot you were on jury service.
Well, I've just been dismissed without even seeing the inside of a courtroom.
Oh.
Detective Sergeant Jones to court number 1, please.
Yes. Come and see how the pros do it. Come on.
Okay.
House fire! Persons reported!
Half a mile from Binwell Heath.
And why did you decide to go there?
I recognized the defendant's vehicle.
You're sure it was his?
I've known the defendant a number of years. I followed the track down to an old gamekeeper's hut and found the defendant with 80 grams of marijuana and 20 grams of cocaine.
Thank you, DS Jones. Remain standing.
By the floors in there as well. Well done, Barry.
The victim is believed to be Caroline Garrett.
Caroline Garrett. Yeah. That's Garrett.
That's correct, yeah.
Right.
You mentioned to my learned friend that the defendant was known to you. Do you like him?
Not particularly.
Why not?
It's not my type.
But his girlfriend is your type, is she not, Sergeant Jones?
I don't know his girlfriend.
Susanna Bellingham of 37 Isabel Gardens, a firefighter. You're sleeping with her these days, aren't you?
Quiet, please.
Perhaps you need a moment to reconsider your answer.
Yes, it's true. We're seeing each other, but I don't see why that's
For
relevant.
the reason I just gave, DS Jones. You don't like my client. In fact, as I understand it, there is a fair degree of rivalry between you.
If you're trying to insinuate
I am trying
that I
to
planted
get at the
drugs on the
truth.
defendant so I could steal his girlfriend, you need to watch less television.
Quiet in court.
Excuse me. If I might ask the court's indulgence.
Ben?
Witness, Your Honour, Mr. Cockrell allowed.
I can't believe it.
Well, that's what barristers get paid for.
Wasn't the ambush.
So you hadn't discussed prior relationships?
Well,
It might be time for that chat.
yeah. Why didn't you tell me you were seeing a known criminal?
I wasn't seeing anyone. I met him at a Cayley when I first moved here. I went out with him once. I didn't even know he'd been arrested till you said last night.
You should have said last night, then.
I'm sorry.
You cost me the case.
Ben, I didn't just come to... Look, we've just attended a gas explosion, a female fatality.
What?
The dead woman was a barrister, Caroline Garrett. She's on your list, isn't she? FIO's prepared to bet on a leaking appliance. The victim was out for the night, got back lunchtime. If there was a leak while she was away, gas builds up, she presses the ignition, bang.
Thank you.
No problem.
You okay?
Yeah. She never got back to me. I should have...
As far as anyone knows, her death was accidental.
It's 2 names off Felton's list, dead in 3 days, sir. If Garrett's house was empty last night, he could have got over there before the arson attack.
He was being watched at the cottage every hour.
He slipped out between patrols.
Well, and then what? He phoned for a cab? His cottage is miles away. It's not humanly possible to get over to Garrett's place, sabotage the gas, and get back again in time to be incinerated.
I thought you didn't like coincidences, sir.
I don't, but the evidence just isn't there to make Felton a suspect for either death. Here he is.
I'm gonna go or I might hit him.
Mr. Burns, got 5 minutes for a chat?
Not with you.
Or we could talk at the station. Where did the £1,500 come from? What was it for?
I'm in business. I respect client confidentiality.
You need to sell a lot of 10-quid deals to make that sort of money in an evening.
Hey, I'm no playground dealer.
I'm investigating an attempted murder, Fred, and I'm wondering if someone paid you to take on the job.
It was a debt. Friend who owed me. He can't prove otherwise. So I'm out of here.
Thanks for the drink.
Thanks for the lift.
Pleasure's mine. Just hoping for a gold star from my favourite teacher.
I'm a very happily married woman, Gareth.
Sure, I didn't mean...
Yes, you did. And I'm flattered, but the competition's just too tough.
My car wouldn't start, so Gareth brought me home.
Good for Gareth.
I'm gonna go. See you later.
See you. Guess what?
He just tried it on with you.
How did you...
Unparalleled powers of observation.
You're not jealous. It's kind of cool if you are.
Hey, sexy.
Well, that looks promising.
I knew you'd be late. How was court?
Oh, I struggle to keep faith in the perfectibility of humankind.
Well, that's criminals for you.
Actually, I meant the lawyers in Ben's case. The defense claimed they were looking for the truth, but what they actually did was rewrite it to undermine Ben's testimony.
Welcome to my world.
How was your day?
Oh, I've had better. There's been another death on Felton's hit list. No evidence of foul play or any way Felton could have been involved.
What is it?
Jones is also on the list. I can't afford to make a mistake.
Did you know he had a fit firefighting girlfriend?
Not till last night.
Ben did well in court. He managed to get the jury back on his side.
Shame the same can't be said for Grady Felton.
Meaning?
Everyone keeps telling me there's no doubt about who killed Daniel Denning. The answer's in here somewhere. It's got to be. Bonfire night 1994. And most of the village is there, including the kids from the hall, the Gideons from Home Farm, Fred Burns, and Grady Felton.
You behave yourself.
But Daniel's not staying. He's soon off, looking for poachers. That was about 8:30. Fireworks go off, beer and burgers are eaten. 10 o'clock and they all set off home. But later, Will, Kyle, Deirdre and Fred will testify that Grady was no longer around the bonfire. 11:30 and Daniel still isn't back at the hall for the family's Guy Fawkes supper, so Ted, Will and Kyle go looking for him. They call in the police. His body's found just before dawn, covered in Grady's fingerprints.
Well, so where's the doubt there?
Oh, there were no witnesses. In Grady's version, he said that he found Daniel already dead in his kitchen. He assumed that one of Ted Denning's beatings had gone too far.
Daniel!
And he panicked,
Daniel!
thinking that he would be blamed. So, he buried the body and the murder weapon in the woods.
Are you saying that you believe Felton's innocent? You'd really be Mr. Popular in Binwell.
I'm wondering if Grady might have been telling the truth about Ted Denning's violence towards Daniel.
You think the father killed the son?
I don't know. But if Grady didn't do it, then it's possible there's a killer in Binwell who's been living with the murder all these years.
And now he's killing again. Ben. You're not taking my calls.
I've been really busy.
Look, I'm not chasing you. I just thought you might want the heads up before the FIO's report went out officially. The feed pipe to the gas fire in Caroline Garrett's house was tampered with. It's definitely murder.
What are you doing?
What happened?
He went out to feed the pheasants and didn't come back. Will found him just after dawn.
Morning, Ben. Any more of this, and I will be the nation's expert. He's got a puncture wound to his neck, and I put money on his body being pumped full of morphine.
If you're going to tell me... No, Jones. I read the Garrett report, too. 3 murders in 5 days and 1 person linking them, Grady Felton. But we know he was in Binwell when Harrison and Garrett died, and assuming he can't kill people remotely from his bed in intensive care...
Someone's taking his revenge for him.
Someone who sympathised, who thought the same as Felton, that he'd been scapegoated.
Well, Mrs. Gideon admitted having a soft spot for him.
Soft enough to kill her own son. Or Fred Burns. He's from the right side of the social tracks. Maybe the money he banked was payment from Felton himself.
So while we've been watching Felton, Fred's been ticking people off the list for cash?
It's a theory.
Can you give me the dates?
Where?
Can you email that? That's great.
OK,
Thanks.
let me know. A red fuel can's been recovered near Felton's cottage. It's on its way to the lab.
Guess who visited Felton at Courtroom Young Offenders when he was first banged up?
I knew the bloke. What's illegal about a couple of visits?
Log records 4 visits, 7 letters.
You don't seem like the letter-writing type, Fred. You must have cared.
3 murders. Giles Harrison, Caroline Garrett, Carl Gideon.
I've killed no one.
You said the money you got came from a friend.
So?
New friend, old friend? Grady Felton?
I don't know what you're talking about.
When Daniel Denning was murdered, did you believe Felton was guilty? Or did you think he'd been stitched up by the people at the hall, as he claimed?
Or are you settling some old scores?
Look, I felt sorry for the scumbag. Don't mean I killed anyone.
Help us out then, Fred. Who cares enough about Grady Felton to commit multiple murder for him? Inform him of his rights. We'll take him to the station when the judge dismisses the court.
What? But I'm on trial.
Doesn't mean you can't be charged for something else, Fred.
It wasn't me. It was his friend.
We've recovered a red fuel can with the number 9 on it from the back of Felton's cottage. We also have CCTV of you, Mr. Gideon, buying a similar can at a petrol station on the Courtroom Road early yesterday morning.
I was in the pump shed and I noticed we'd lost one. I replaced it.
The fuel from inside the recovered can is an exact match to the samples we recovered from the fire and to your own supply.
If it's our can, then it'll have our fuel in it.
We've had theft from the pump yard before.
It could have been taken from anywhere. An estate vehicle, one of the bikes.
We'll need formal statements from everyone. This is a warrant for a full search of your property, house and land. We'll also need fingerprints and DNA swabs. We'll get started right away.
Hold on a sec. Kyle was murdered last night. Why aren't you after his killer?
All right, boys. Let's do it. House, grounds. Constable, you come with me.
I don't see why I have to be corralled in here.
When I was here yesterday, you said you felt sorry for Grady Felton because he was the victim of violent abuse. Felton insisted that Mr. Denning abused Daniel. So, if Deirdre grew up in a similar atmosphere of violence, how did she feel about Felton?
Grady was making things up all the time. Nobody ever believed him.
Oh, I'm sure they didn't, but I'm asking you now, Mrs. Gideon. Did Felton and Deirdre have something in common after all?
Sir?
Time for my grilling. No smile, must be serious.
We've been talking to Fred Burns.
Was it worth it? He's not the sharpest knife.
I'd be nice about him if I were you. He's been able to clear you of any involvement in the fire at the cottage.
How sweet.
He says you were at his place when the cottage caught fire, paying him compensation for the longest sentence. He says the Class A's I caught him with were for you and Kyle.
Nasty little blackmailer.
We'd also like to talk about Grady Felton, Miss Denning.
This is a post log from Belmarsh Prison, where Felton was held between 97 and 2001. Shows the letters he received. I've highlighted the ones from you.
I was bored. Felt bad about poor little Grady in his awful little cell. It passed.
So you didn't continue to have feelings for him then?
I never had feelings for him. He was trailer trash. Why would I?
No, but you wrote to him again in Wormwood Scrubs just before his release. What was that about?
Can't remember. A good luck card.
Fred says that your feelings for Felton amounted to more than passing pity.
Fred had a crush on me for years.
But you weren't interested in Fred?
Hardly.
Because Grady Felton was the one who interested you, wasn't he? Oh, Fred says that...
Fred says...
According to the official kennels log, there's some morphine missing from your medical cabinet.
What?
Where were you on the night that Harrison died? The night that Grady Felton came back?
I was with the others in the village.
No, you weren't. We checked.
I was in Oxford. If you must know, I was buying some weed.
If her alibi checks out, we're back to square one, sir. She didn't set fire to Felton's cottage. She didn't kill anyone.
Well, the friend theory's still the best we've got. Maybe Deirdre just isn't the friend.
What the hell's going on?
Your daughter's been found in possession of drugs, Mr. Denning.
What?
And we need to verify certain things she's told us concerning her whereabouts.
I told you she had nothing to do with the fire.
She's not a suspect for the fire, sir. I'll let you know what's happening as soon as I can.
Right. Thanks for that. That was the hospital, sir. There's been a change in Felton's condition. He might be coming out of the coma.
He's got no output.
Okay.
Locating VF under shocking. Everyone stand clear.
Oxygen away.
Charging. Shocking.
Hello. Oh, hi. He's what? How'd that happen? I thought... No, I'm just in the car park. I'll be straight up.
I think we should stop. Does everyone agree?
Time of death, 19.
How's the PC?
Woozy, but he'll live.
You didn't see who injected him?
No, sir. He felt something on the back of his neck, then it's a blank.
You okay?
Yeah.
What did you see?
I saw a grey hatchback coming at me. Before I realized what was happening, it was gone. It just makes no sense. Why would Felton's Avenger want to kill Felton?
Good question. At least now we have a lead.
Hatchback.
Let's focus on finding it.
Well, I'll talk to hospital security, see what the cameras picked up.
Or you could do the sensible thing and go home while I organize some protection.
No, thanks.
You're a target, Ben. The killer's already had one go.
I'll be more careful next time.
Anything from the hospital CCTV?
It caught a grey hatchback, but side-on from 50 yards. Can't even tell if the driver's male or female.
There's a camera at the main entrance.
Yeah, with hundreds of people going in and out all day.
This is the lab report on the DNA from the cigarette stubs at Felton's cottage. It's a match to Deirdre's swab.
Well, maybe she's like me, sir. Happy in knowing where he is.
I need a word with Thomas. Okay.
House call. This can't be good news.
Suck in the guts, guys. I've got a googly to throw you. Grady Felton's now a murder victim, so I took routine prints and DNA as soon as they brought him down, checked them through the database, and he came back as two people.
How is that possible?
I don't have a clue. The prints of the guy on the slab match Grady Felton's print record on the national database, but put his DNA through the same system, and he comes back a completely different person.
Keith Mullery served 11 years for murdering his wife, released a year before Felton. They shared a cell for his last 3 years at the Scrubs. Here's his probation file.
You were right. I checked the scar and the tattoo. They're recent. And he's had laser surgery on both eyes in the last few months.
Did you check with the database administrator?
You were right about that, too. In the past 18 months, the fingerprints of all convicted criminals were digitized, which meant everyone had to go back and be reprinted.
According to this, Mullery's prints and Felton's are identical.
And a match to our dead guy.
So Mullery must have gone back in to be reprinted, posing as Felton.
It's the only logical explanation. These are Felton's fingerprints from the original paper case file, and they don't match anything we've got.
So this is definitely Keith Mullery.
And Felton's been out there all along. Great. Yeah, thank you. The wing manager at the Scrubs confirmed they both looked alike. They used to wind new screws up pretending to be each other.
Maybe that's where they got the idea.
They must have spent months planning it. Organising the surgery and stuff.
They were in a cell together for 3 years.
But why would Mullery agree to do it?
Money, maybe they agreed to split the proceeds from the sale of the cottage.
Do you know, it didn't even occur to me the man I saw wasn't Grady Felton.
18 years, Jones. And like you say, you had no reason to question his identity.
I keep thinking he's out at the pens. He'll just walk in the door.
I know, darling. I know.
If Mullery was impersonating Felton at the cottage, so the real Felton was free to kill, why kill Mullery?
When Mullery couldn't sell the cottage, he was so angry he threatened to stay and do the place up. Maybe that made him a threat to Felton. We need to brief protection and get a search started. You get over to Binwell and watch your back. Felton knows we're on to him now.
Denning must be top of his list.
Well, if you think that's at all necessary, thank you. The police seem to think that we need protection. They'll be here shortly.
I want to know who killed my son. I need to know if Deirdre...
Deirdre didn't kill Kyle or anybody else.
Well, Barnaby seems to think she had feelings for Grady.
Don't be ridiculous.
He thinks she was drawn to him because of what you were doing to Daniel.
What are you talking about?
I was there, remember? You couldn't cope with him challenging you. You lost control.
That's got nothing to do with anything.
Ted, we both lost a son. Don't you think it's time we face the truth? However painful it is.
Damn lights. I'll go.
Miss Denning, I'm bailing you pending further inquiries. But I need your help.
Office is closed.
Grady Felton is alive and well. He used a double. The man you saw at the cottage wasn't Felton, it was a former cellmate of his called Keith Mullery. The real Felton has already killed 3 people and tried to kill D.S. Jones. Now he knows that we're close. I think your father will be next.
Protection officers are on their way. Is Mr. Denning here?
He's in the powerhouse. The lights went out.
I'll go and get him. Where is the powerhouse?
Well, he'll be back in a minute.
Just tell me the way, Mrs. Gideon.
You've got no chance. Whoever you are, The police are on the way.
When you were kids, did you have any secret hangouts?
We used the old powerhouse. Grady hated it. Wicked old Ross used to lock him up in there. Leave him alone all night.
Why?
Andy's.
Teach him a lesson. Whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
What? Where did you hear that?
Grady. Ross used to say it to him whenever he dished out punishment.
Who are you?
I'm Gareth, Cos and Jim.
What are you doing here?
Come on, Jones, pick up for God's sake.
I'm making it right.
It's Barnaby. I need backup at Binwell Hall. Armed response.
How long ago did Jones go to the powerhouse?
About 10 minutes. And Ted's still not answering.
Neither is Jones. Stay inside the house, Mrs. Gideon.
What are you doing?
Isn't it obvious, Ted?
Grady.
Stay in the car, okay?
Welcome back, Jonesy. Nearly got you at the hospital. But this... this is perfect. I mean, you should have upgraded years ago, Ted.
See, dodgy electrics killed them, they'll say.
And that's the beauty of it.
Why are you doing this, Grady? You killed Daniel. Done your time.
I did not kill Daniel Dennis.
You get it? You got it, you John.
Right. Stop there! Or we all go up. Or did you just come for another training session? Yeah. Did you bring the beautiful wife?
So, how long have you been at the gym?
18 months. I had a few things to do first. Lose weight in the tats, you know, get fit. Bit of surgery on the scar.
Who's Gareth Dunbar?
That's a clean skin I bought. You meet a lot of useful people in prison, John.
No remorse, no pangs of conscience?
You should ask him that question. You see, there's the man who murdered his own son, and you lot, you fitted me up for it.
He's lying. He killed my son.
No, Daniel and me, we were all right. See, We understood each other.
What can you possibly understand about my son?
Because I knew what it was like to feel the belt across my back. Just like Dan. Hey, Ted.
Everyone trusts a Scot. Carl was a regular. Never a moment's doubt.
Get out of here, Miss Denning.
Are you going to kill me too, Grady?
Do what he said. Get out.
No.
Look, he is the one that I want, you know. He murdered your brother.
No, he didn't.
Oh, sure he didn't.
Fred Burns remembers that night very well. He was keen to spend the evening with Deirdre, but she only had eyes for you. Fred says that Daniel was happy to chase the girls, but wasn't so keen on his little sister having fun.
What are you talking about?
So I was wondering if you went to find Grady at the cottage that night.
What are you saying?
He's telling the truth.
What are you doing here?
I'm just...
Just what? Oh, you and Grady.
There's no me and Grady.
Liar. You're screwing him, aren't you? I can see it in your face.
No, Dan, I'm not.
You wait till Dad finds out.
Don't you dare tell him.
Watch me.
He was your brother?
It was an accident. I'm so sorry, Grady.
Stop it, Deirdre.
You stole my life.
You've suffered a terrible injustice,
I was just so scared.
but the killing has to stop.
I just thought they'd let you go after a
stole
while.
my
I just
whole
thought it
life.
would all just... I poisoned all our lives.
Can I get some help in here?
All right, sit still. Grady Felton, you are under arrest for murders Joan Harrison, Scott Mallory, Caroline Garrett, and Carl Gideon.
I'm so sorry.
Hi.
Hey.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Susie.
Listen, I've been thinking about it, and maybe you being a copper and me being... just, I don't know.
Call me.
I'll call you.
fighting. Push! Push! Well done, excellent work. Well done, sir, you're through.
Are you okay? Oh, I'm feeling sick. It must be the concussion. Did I pass? Just. Oh, I feel terrible.
Well done, gentlemen.
I think I'm knacking my ankle. My knee's seizing up.
Well, whatever doesn't kill you